Hello and welcome to another episode of On the Lookout. In this episode, we're looking at NBA stars with the All-Star Games just been. What better time to delve into NBA? Obviously the MVP race is hotting up, so I thought let's delve into the race, see what the prices are like over last year. So I picked five, tried in a bonus one as well, but five of the top stars at the moment who are all gunning for that MVP. So let me know what your thoughts are, if you're interested in these players, if you've invested, if you're just collecting these players. And of course, if you want this data, the fingertips, all you have to do is download Market Movers, use the code Mahomes, you get a 2-week free trial, and 20% off for life on any package you choose. So that's code Mahomes, Mahomes, and there you go. 2 weeks free of charge, 20% off any package you choose. What more can you want? All that intelligent reports at your fingertips. You get a great deal. It supports the channel. Makes me keep doing videos. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's see what the data is. Let's go.
So let's get straight into this one. It's Nikola Jokic, 2-time MVP. Unplayable majority of the times. Very smart player. Very good with the ball. Obviously, his rookie year was 2015, so we pulled up his Silver Prism Raw, the Silver Prism PSA 9, and the PSA 10. We also have the Select Premier Level Silver Raw, Silver in a PSA 9, and a Select Premier Level Silver PSA 10. Interesting with the pop counts on them as well, because the PSA 9 of the Silver Prism is a pop 344. The PSA 10 is a pop of 155. The Select Premier Level Silver PSA 9 pop 80, and the Select Premier Level Silver PSA 10 just 44. So as you can see here, across the sales is over the last 365 days. So just coming off the All-Star game, obviously the race for the sort of MVPs heating up as well. We can see 40 sales for the PSA 10, 58 for the PSA 9, and 12 for the Raw of the Prism. And then we select, we have 19 sales on the Raw, 28 on the PSA 9, and 17 on the PSA 10, which is interesting. Interesting. We go across, you can see the total sales there. It's the Prism PSA 10 obviously had a few spikes throughout the year. It's probably the biggest one, as you can see. Also, the Prism Raw had a bit of a bump towards the last few months. If you look at the price changes over the year, as you can see, for a 2-time MVP, obviously missed out last year. Some say controversially. I don't know there, but interesting. As you can see, the Raw is up 40% currently. And whereas the Silver is down 7%. The PSA 10 is down 13%. I mean, there's obviously room there with the Raw. If you could pick up a Raw for $650, and it comes back a PSA 10, it is a big turnaround. Quite similar to the Select as well. If you can pick up the Select Raw, if you can, even a PSA 9, you'll make a bit of profit. But if that comes like a 10, doing some good numbers. Let me know your thoughts. Is Jokic someone you want to invest in? I mean, as a big man, it doesn't sound great, but he's going to be one of them sort of generational players, I think. Let me know your thoughts. And now we go to the boy, Shy, however you want to pronounce that one. Gorgeous Alexander. Baller, obviously started his career at the Clippers. Didn't really work out for OKC. He has been balling out. Decent cast around him as well. And obviously we're seeing Chet do his thing. But, this guy is, in his own right, is an absolute baller. So we pulled up his Prism Silver in Raw, in PSA 9 and the PSA 10. And we've got the Optic Hollow, again Raw, PSA 9 and PSA 10. As you can see, for the last year, the sales data is right there. So 135 sales for the PSA 10, 40 sales for the Optic Hollow PSA 10. The Optic Hollow PSA 9 is on 34 sales. The Prism Silver is on PSA 9 is on 258 sales. The Prism Raw Silver has done 226 sales, but the Optic Hollow Raw doing 42 sales. It's interesting. You look at especially the pop count. So as you can see, the one that sold most there, most liquid card, is the PSA 9, which has a pop count of 1,854. On the year, that is up 79%, which is obviously interesting when you look at the Raw, which is currently going for $1 less. So not really worth getting Raw. That is up. The Raw is up 106% on the year as well, which is crazy. Obviously, recent sales, $1 difference between that and 9. I mean, obviously for the dollar, you get the one that's already graded a 9, because you never know what happens at that point. You spend the $20 to get it graded, and it could come back a PSA 8. It might even come back a 9. So it could come back a 10, and that would net you a nice little profit, because the PSA 10 is up 39% at $610. But risky game, probably a better bet getting a 9 and cracking that. Jesus, worst case scenario, it comes back a 9, you wasted $20. But yeah, if you look at the Hollow, the Optic Hollow Raw, it's obviously $88, whereas the next day, a PSA 9 sells for $85. So the Raw is up 120%. The Hollow 9, PSA 9 is up 55 cents, $85. Crazy. The Hollow PSA 10 is going for $250, which is up 9% on the year. So when we look, see the total sales, we look at that chart, up, down, then obviously a cooling off period, and then back, spiking. Very interesting. So as you can see, sort of these sort of months, really, if you're looking at it, it's what, back end of Feb all the way through till September, it's quite low, and then it's been up, down, spiking up again and come back down a little bit more. But as you can see, all on the incline for last year, which is good to see for an investor in the boy. He's a baller. Currently I think he's second in the MVP race. That's why we're covering him. Just like Jokic, just the MVP race candidates at the moment. Because it's the people that are going to have a big spike. We have markers for these people. Deep playoff runs, potentially MVPs. And this is why we're looking into them. Let me know if you're into Shea. What your thoughts are. Is he worth investing? Is he not? It's interesting. Interesting stuff. Especially with the pot counts. The PSA 10 Prism, 593. The Optic Hollow 10 in 219. It's not the biggest amount nowadays. And next we move on to the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. Obviously, it's not the sort of the best data on this one, but obviously he didn't have like a Dominus or an optic similar to Jokic. He does have a Dominus, but not an optic. So I pulled up his Prism Silver in Raw, in PSA 9 and in PSA 10. Again, low pops. PSA 9 is a pop of 88 and the PSA 10 is a pop 80. And again, I know these prices aren't attainable for everyone, but I think it's interesting data nonetheless. I then also pulled up the Select Silver in Raw, Select Silver in PSA 9 and Select Silver in PSA 10. As you can see, the number of sales, there's not been a great deal of sales in the past year. The biggest one is the Select PSA 10 with 21 sales. And again, it's the one with the highest pop of 93. But it is what it is. I mean, Giannis is what, MVP, Finals MVP. Not having the best of years. Seems to be a lot of disruption up in the Bucks, but he is an absolute baller, a talent. I'm a big fan. So as you can see, I mean, the silver prism, as you can see, they're down 42%. As you see, sort of fell off a cliff, making it a bit more attainable for certain people. You know, going from close to 16k to 8, or just over 8.5k. Look at the price changes for the year. I mean, look at that again. Not a great deal of sales data, but you can see the massive decline of the silver prism PSA 10. Again, you can see the PSA 9 also on a slight dip there at the end, and a 8% loss from the year. And again, same with the select PSA 10 silver, down 42%. What's interesting is obviously if you're looking at the price of raw, again, it's not sold for just under a year, but that was just over 2k. You know, then you're looking at the PSA 9, you know, it's down 11%, and that's sold for 1.1k. You know, and that was only a couple of weeks ago. It's very interesting. Again, the raw's literally a little bit shy of the PSA 10, which is kind of unheard of. I mean, again, there is other Giannis cards out there. I mean, I know you're picking up hoops at the moment for quite cheap, but I just like these sort of cards, the silvers. You know, I'm always going to bring that sort of data on this sort of on the lookout stuff, because I think the Prism Silvers are very liquid cards. No, it's not really showing it here, but yeah, you're looking at Prism Silvers. Select, again, a bit more of a, I wouldn't say niche, but a bit, you know, a bit more of a select audience. No pun intended. But again, the liquid cards, especially over base cards, I just don't think there's much value in this. I'm always going to advocate for silvers, hollows over base. And next we move on to one of the hobby darlings in Luka Doncic. A lot of money was invested in him over the years. Don't get me wrong, an absolute baller, but yet to reach the finals. Potentially, you know, I think he could win a ring, but I do think it would be sort of like a number 2, whereas obviously at the Mavs he is the number 1. I think if he moves somewhere where he's number 2, he could win a ring. But let's look into his card prices. That's what we're here for. As you can see on the year, down. So we have the Optic Hollow Raw, the Optic Hollow in PSA 9 with a pop of 563, and a Optic Hollow PSA 10 with a pop of 335. Also have the Prism Silver Raw, the Prism Silver PSA 9 of a pop of 2,542, and the Prism Silver PSA 10 with a pop of 2,271. Yeah, all of them down on the year. As you can see, there was sales. The PSA 10 Prism Silver, 351 sales on the year. Again, very liquid card. It's down 44%. Taking that to just over $1,000. Again, the PSA 9's 153 sales. And the Optic Hollow PSA 10, 55 sales. The Optic Hollow PSA 9 with 68. The Prism Raw with 35. And the Optic Hollow Raw with 15 sales. As you can see there with the sales, a big spike sort of this time last year. In the silver, yeah, with the All-Star games and the funny tricks and the sort of MVP race and all this sort of stuff. But yeah, if you look at the actual price changes throughout the year, look at that. So I'll see how the downward trajectory, a few spikes here and there throughout the year. You know, this guy is, like I said, he's up there. Kyrie's obviously playing well. They could do something this year. He could be worth a little punt. We know how high his prices have been in the past. Again, they are massively down. Even if you pick up the Optic Hollow now, which is down 51% on the year to $850, it goes to show that there could be scope for big profit. You know, we see it at the beginning and at the chart. You know, up there just above 1,650, and it's gone right down to the 850 mark, and that was what, a week ago. So you know, liquid. People always want to invest in Luca. He's always going to ball out. You just have that European pull as well. Very interesting. Very interesting, especially when you look at the current prices. But yes, let me know if you're investing in Luca. And then we go to Jason Tatum. Certified baller. Know he, during the playoff run against the Lakers, he did a peel off people off, should we say, repping Kobe inspired bands. Again, as a Celtics player, something it's a big rivalry, so it's something you don't really do. But you know, I think it's been a really long time now. People have said he is him for a while, and he's not got over that hump just yet of winning a ring. But you know, nonetheless, he's a baller. Celtics do have a strong fan base. Again, if you're looking at the sort of number of sales over the year, it's not bad. Again, we've pulled up the Optic Hollow Raw, Optic Hollow PSA 9, the pop of 327, and the Optic Hollow PSA 10 have a pop of 451, all of which are down big. The 18% of the Raw, 67% on the PSA 9, and 44% on the Optic Hollow PSA 10. And we also put up the Prism Silver Raw, which is down 18%. We've got the Prism Silver PSA 9 with a pop of 554, down 10%. And the Prism Silver PSA 10 of a pop of 837, and that is down 33%. Again, you know, sales have been not too bad for Tatum. So again, big fan base. Someone who moves quite liquid. Again, we're only picking the Optic Hollow rookies and the Prism Silver rookies because we know the liquid we're going to move, and there could be opportunities to make money. When stuff is down 67%, there are more likely going to be opportunities to make some of that money back if you can pick these cards up. Again, it's sold just 2 days ago as we're recording this, or 3 days ago. So yeah, let's look into the data again. Look at the sales throughout the year. As you can see, it's majority of the cards are quite consistently selling throughout the year. We've seen a slow up on the Prism Silver Raw, which is interesting, but everything else does seem to sell quite liquid throughout the year. And if you look at the price changes, so look at where it started to where it is now. I mean, look at that. Now, we talked about the 67% drop off on the Optic Hollow PSA 9. I mean, that's a pop of only 327, and it's dropped off 67%. Down to $90 just a few days ago, and that was upwards of $300 plus dollars. Crazy. It looks like there was a bit of a weird sale on the PSA 10 as well, the Prism. Again, pop of 837. Seems to be a massive drop off there. It's been up around the one over a K, close to the $800, and a massive drop off. In the summer of last year, it's picking back up and consistently selling around sort of the $700-800 area. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Do you believe in Tatum? Is he him? You know, I mean, looking at the prices there, I mean, it is kind of crazy, isn't it? You look at the Raw and PSA 9s are pretty much, again, the Optic Hollywood are the same, and that's, you know, granted there's a 9-day difference between the two sales. And then we've got the Prism PSA 9 and the Prism Raw. You know, $20 in it. A couple of months difference between them two, but yeah, crazy. Obviously, a big uplift in the PSA 10s. Almost 3 times as much. But yeah, crazy. You know, in that scenario, would you rather have an Optic Hollow, you know, rated rookie PSA 10 for $287, or the Prism Silver PSA 9 for $325. What would you rather have? What do you think's got the biggest uplift? I mean, the Holo PSA 10 is down 44%, whereas the Prism PSA 9 is down 10%. So, there's opportunities there. Especially with the pop of the Prism Silver being 554, sorry, with the Optic Holo PSA 10 being a pop of 451. Interesting. But yes, let me know, guys. So you're interested in Tatum? Can he win a ring and go that hump? Is he someone you want to invest in? Now you've seen this data. Let me know in the comments below. And we couldn't leave this show, could we, without doing the current MVP, Joel Embiid. A little bit out of the race, I would say a little bit out of the race. Probably not the top 5 at the moment. Obviously, it's a bit of a weird sort of scenario where people think he was dodging certain people. We don't talk about that though. But we can't miss him out, let's be honest. Again, his rookie year is 2014, so I got a bit more limited on the cards. But again, I picked up the Prism Silvers as always. So we've gone for the Silver Raw, the Silver PSA 9, which is a pop of 57, and then the Prism Silver PSA 10, which is a pop of 86. And then we've gone for the Select Concourse Silver Raw, Concourse Silver PSA 9, which is a pop of 101, and the Concourse Silver PSA 10, a pop of 165. And out of the 6 cards, that is the only one that is down on the year, 11%. These are quite affordable, attainable cards for someone who's obviously MVP, sort of the franchise guy. Again, another big man. It seems to be a sort of a big man sport at the moment. Jokic, Giannis, Embiid, the dominant forces, aren't they? Really, let's be honest. Again, as we can see here, the most sales throughout the year has been the PSA 10 Concourse Silver with 32 sales. And if we look throughout the year on the total sales, sort of a spike around October-ish time towards sort of November, December. And if we look at the prices over the year, as you can see, look at that. Again, someone who is up on the year, as we can see. Does he have a shot? I said he's just out of the top 5 at the moment in the MVP race, but there's a lot of Philly fans out there. He is current MVP. One needs to get over the line and win a ring for his team, but it could be done. If you're looking at the current prices, kind of interesting. Also, we've got the Silver Prism Raw at $300, which is just a couple of days ago, and then just over 12 days ago, $304 for a PSA 9. Again, that's a pop of only 57, by the way. So for the $4, it's probably worth going for that if you can get that at them store prices. Again, the PSA 10 is up there at over 1,300k. Looking at the Select. So this Select Concourse, the prices kind of surprised me. I mean, again, I told you it's a bit more of a select audience for this, but when someone has sort of less rookie cards to choose from, this is a good sort of very nice entry level stuff to have. It's, for the Raw, it's $110, and that's up 47%, by the way, on the year. So if you'd bought that this time last year, nice profit. The Silver, again, the Concourse Silver PSA 9 pop of 101, even though it's up 8%, $108. Again, in these 2 sales, yes, they were 3 weeks ago, respectively, but within 7 days of each other, within a week of each other, a Raw goes for 110, 6 days later, a PSA 9 goes for 108. Craziness. Again, the select PSA 10 is down 11% on the year, which is crazy. Again, a pop of $165, and that's down to $183. So, affordable, attainable, and let's face it, it's not a bad card to have, is it? If you've got a sort of Concourse Silver Select Rookie of Joel Embiid for $183, at a pop of 165, jeez, that should have some growth in it. I mean, like how much further down can it go, really? Jesus. Slept on, in my opinion, very slept on. But this is what we use market movers for, these sort of things, and I'll delve deeper in this. That's something I'm thinking about as well, just something different from this sort of on the lookout stuff. But yeah, it's crazy contingencies to be found. So make sure you download Market Movers app. Make sure you use the code Mahomes, MAHOMES. You get a 2-week free trial and 20% off any package you choose for life. It's worth it. Just get it done. Helps you out with picking up cards. It helps the channel out. So we appreciate it.